Hey everybody, it's Nate with Sauce 8 the Boss here again, and today is day number 38 of quitting alcohol. Today I woke up feeling kind of free, and I've been thinking about it all day as to why that was, and still is. I just feel light and free. And I didn't really realize how trapped and how negative alcohol was making my life. Everything that I kind of did in life revolved around alcohol. I didn't control alcohol. Alcohol controlled me. We've all heard that quote that says, that which you don't control controls you. I've always thought that was kind of a weird little quote. I don't know that I agree with that when it comes to everything, but I do think there's a place for that quote. And alcohol, for many of us, that probably rings true. It gets to a place where, as I've said before, I'm never sure we're really totally in control when we start drinking alcohol ever, from our first drink till where we are now. But if we were in control at one point, definitely along the way, that somehow for many of us gets lost. And then we find ourselves one day completely out of control with our drinking, and then the drinking controls you. I mean, everything you do in life revolves around, hey, if I'm going here, is there going to be alcohol? What time is it? I need to make sure I'm not cutting into my drinking time. At least that's how I was. And what you inadvertently do when you start behaving and thinking that way is that this substance, this poison in a bottle, starts to control your thoughts and your actions. And I didn't really realize how bad it was until this last week, and how I wake up and I don't feel like I have to be somewhere at a certain time or do this or do that, or just because, in the past, I would always be thinking, I got to make sure I leave enough time to drink. I got to make sure there's alcohol there. I got to do that. It was always just a constant feeling of making sure I had my binky, so to speak. And it's really freeing to not have to worry about or think about alcohol anymore. In that perspective, it has no more control. When you stop drinking and you start distancing yourself from it more and more, it's no longer in control of you. It slowly starts to lose. Not that we're talking about it like it's some kind of entity, and it's just kind of a analogy, to think about it that way. But it doesn't have its claws in you anymore. You start to break free from the control that alcohol had on your life, and you start to get your own life back. And like I said, this entire journey is all about finding yourself and finding out who you are. And how can you really do that when something else is kind of controlling you and your life and your thoughts and your actions and the way that you relate to things? I mean, just every little detail in my life, if I think about it, the way that I was kind of addicted to alcohol, it had some kind of hand or play in how I viewed things, felt about things, thought about things. It's really kind of crazy now that I'm like I say, this whole thing, and what I enjoy sharing with you guys is just these realizations I have and these thoughts and stuff and feelings about how negative alcohol really is on a person's life. And today and over the last week or so, just been feeling really free. Like there's this thing that once controlled me is no longer there. I control my life, and it creates happiness, and just like this, like burden's been lifted. You're no longer stuck in that alcohol trap when you free yourself from putting that crap into your mouth anymore. And if you're thinking about quitting drinking, especially in the beginning stages, it really feels like this thing's just got its claws into you, and it's trying to drag you down. Now there's a lot more deeper things here than just alcohol, the poison it is in a bottle, and your relationship with it. There's a lot of stuff going on inside yourself that you have to take a look at as you go through all this and stuff like that. And it definitely does feel like that in the beginning, that when you're quitting, that, it's just this thing that's like, for me, it felt like a little gremlin or something just grabbing onto me and didn't want me to break free. And all that's kind of up here and in here, alcohol is just an inanimate object sitting there in a glass or in a bottle. And, it can't make you drink it, but, it's kind of crazy and funny how we start to look at it as this like great thing or like it's some kind of god, but then at the same time it's like the devil trying to pull you down. And I'm just kind of sharing all these thoughts and feelings I've had about alcohol today and how it's slowly losing its grasp and meaningfulness in my life, and I'm just beginning to more and more see it for the negative thing it was, and just an inanimate object that can never make you pick it up. That's a choice you make. You decide if you're going to sit there and put this garbage into your mouth or not. Just know that when you begin to get further and further along, those claws in you, that feeling of like trappedness or hopelessness starts to disappear. And you're left with like joy and happiness. How can you truly be happy when something else is controlling you, or at least it feels like it does, And again, nothing like alcohol can really control you, but it feels like it does. And it's because, we do this thing over and over again, and it creates, a dependency. And you become dependent on numbing yourself and the way that it makes you feel. And you start to lose yourself, and you start to lose a lot of your qualities. And, for lack of a better term, it felt like I was walking around in a trance when I was drinking alcohol, everything revolves around alcohol. It's kind of how it felt like. And to not be in that cloudy trance, everything's about alcohol thing is just so amazing and so free feeling, And so I hope you guys can all experience that the further along you get. And it's definitely worth going through the trials and tribulations the first month or so of, the discomfort and garbage that comes along with first stopping, and you just gotta, again, like I said in yesterday's video, I wish people would have sat me down and told me how much better things start to get a month in, just get to a month and then reevaluate everything, and you'll see that you're going to feel a lot differently by then about alcohol, and it starts to lose its grasp on you, and then you can start moving forward with the rest of your life and stuff. But it's like anything in life, when you first start exercising and you haven't done it in a while, it's really hard, or it feels hard, and part of you just wants to quit and give up on it, But just if you keep going and keep going, pretty soon one day you're sitting there working out and you go, man, this is easy. I used to struggle doing this, Then you go up a flight of stairs and you're like, man, I'm not even, breathing hard or breaking a sweat. And before you know it, you're fit and in shape and feeling like $1 million. But you're not going to get there if every time it gets hard or difficult, or you find yourself with discomfort and you want to just say, screw it and give up. That's what, like they say, that's what separates the men from the boys, guys. You gotta just push through and come out the other side, and you'll be so thankful you did, So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that one today, the free feeling that you get from not feeling trapped by alcohol anymore when it starts to lose its grasp on your life, and you realize that, it's almost like a realization that you don't need it anymore, and you never did need it, but somehow along the way you got lost and in this trance. And that's what alcohol does. When you put a poison into your body, it kind of, takes over a little bit, for lack of a better term. Again, I don't profess to know how all this stuff works, but I think just talking about it and sharing it, so maybe you guys can get, some wheels turning about how it's affecting your life. Can't be a bad thing, So anyway, guys, that's it for today. If you're liking these videos, give them a like. Subscribe to the channel if you can, and I'll be doing these every day for 365 days so you can see my transformation. Go back, see where I was on day 1. Today's day 38. And, you know, this will give people years worth of stuff in the future to look at, you know, that are thinking about quitting, and they can sit there and go, hey, you know, I mean, what does a guy look like that was a heavy drinker in 90 days, in 6 months, 9 months, you know, and 1 year? So it's going to be kind of cool, I think, you know. So anyway, guys, remember one thing, the sauce ain't the boss. You are. You guys have a great day.